zachitika kuti zachitika nthawi zanji kodi nanga amene wapanga ndani musakhale nawo gulu lovutika ndi mphekesera ayi tapangani subscribe ku Malawi Daily Headlines lero kuti zochitika mdziko mwanu momwe zisamakuphonyeni. Kukulandirani kwina kulikonse kumene muli pano pa Malawi Daily Headlines, ndipo ngati mwangotipeza kumene tapangani subscribe komanso like kuti update ina iliyonse isamakuphonyeni nthawi yake. Panotu Commission of Inquiry yaitanisa Brigadier General Prof Kuwali, yemwe anali former Commandant ku National Defense College of Malawi. Takhani pomwepo kuti tithe kumva kunena kuti Professor Kuwali wafotokoza komanso wayankha mafunso motani kumeneko. Takhani pomwepo.
One of the most detailed we have received so far, and makes life easier for members to ask questions that are very direct. I will allow members to ask you further questions, whether to seek clarification or to probe further. May I open the floor to members? Doa Kasangazi.
Thank you very much, Chair. First of all, I think I should also declare that I know Professor Kuwali as a professional colleague. He's a lawyer by profession. I have a few questions, Prof. The first question is, when did you travel to Nzuzu to attend the funeral of Zafika Sambara SCC?
You want me to respond now?
Yeah.
Okay, on the morning of 10th of June in the year of 2024, Honorable MP.
And which route did you use to get to Nzuzu from Lilongwe?
I used the Mzimba route via Chikangawa to Nzuzu.
Prof, I would like to find out what the weather was like in Chikangawa as you were traveling to Nzuzu.
Honorable Chair, you are assuming that I was awake by the time I was getting to Nzuzu? Yeah, so yes, I noticed that the weather was bad. As a matter of fact, I slept a good part of the trip, but when I was approaching Chikangawa, just because the driver was driving slow, I had to wake up. And when I reached Nzuzu, I was told by colleagues who were actually family members who were at the funeral that I had to bring an umbrella because the weather was really bad that day.
My last question is on the BFU report. I am of the view that you read the report, Prof.
In passing, yes, I did, Your Honorable Member.
The BFU report reached the conclusion that the accident in which the aircraft was involved was largely caused by bad weather. What was your reaction when you read the conclusion that the BFU report reached?
Chair, you asking my opinion? I mean, that was their opinion, and I took it as they gave it.
Chair, that is all from me.
I saw a hand from the Zagasena.
Thank you so much, Chair, for giving opportunity to the Zagasena to ask questions. I have a few questions. I'll ask it very briefly. If need to be, I'll come back later. Good morning, Prof.
Good morning, Honorable Member.
I want to take you to your presentation, and this morning I want to start on the page 5. Bit number 2. Mr. Varela informed you that the commander had authorized the use of aircraft. Did he? I have in mind the page, the breed number 3, where he had asked you which commander you know and everything. Did he really say which commander? Apart from saying no, apart from you advising him to go through the Air Force commander, but did he say which commander had authorized?
Honorable Member, thank you. Like I indicated in my submission and also in my oral presentation, he did not specify which commander. In any event, he asked me how many commanders I knew, and I told him that with regard to the Vice President traveling on a military aircraft, there were 3 commanders who were relevant at that time. So after our conversation with the Air Force commander, we did not dwell back on which commander authorized the use of the aircraft.
All right. Free chair, I wanted to go to your breed number 8, where you are saying, in the light of foregoing, you made it explicitly clear to both Mr. Valera and Mr. Kaso Nchuka George Mali that you not participate in or facilitate arrangements setting the Vice President's travel because your involvement was restricted to Mr. Kasambala. I'm made to believe that you have been following the proceedings of this ad hoc committee, and maybe you had an opportunity to listen to the presentation which Mr. Joshua Valera made, and the same will correspond to what Chair witness Mr. Dr. Latha Lake Kanyamula Skwese made. More especially, I'm interested on the page 4 of presentation of Dr. Skwese Chair. Allow me to read to Prof so that he can hear it. Mr. Valera, that is now Dr. Skwese, when he called Mr. Valera, and then Mr. Valera informed Dr. Skwese that he was with 2 relatives, in brackets, Kaso Mwale and Brigadier General Kuwali. And these duly confirmed that it was possible for the Vice President to use the aircraft. Can you confirm? Because this is what Dr. Skwese made and presented to this committee, saying it was possible, and that was made by you and Kaso Chukamari. But your presentation, breed number 8, so to breed number 8, where you have said it's on page 6 on your presentation. You have said you made it possible, you made it known to them that you're not going to participate, and even if I take it to the same page, breed number 6, you expressed the view that it was impractical. But then Dr. Skwese says you and Kaso Nchuka, you had given a permission that it was practicable. Which is which, Prof?
Member, so number 1, I haven't really been following the developments in this inquiry for several reasons. First is the fact that I knew that someday I might be required to testify, so I didn't want to be influenced by any testimonies that were given. Secondly is, it happens during working day and we have other things to do, but I do understand important work, Honorable Chair, Honorable Members, that you are carrying. With regards to your specific question, Honorable Member, obviously Dr. Sekwese's testimony with regards to what happened is hearsay. So I don't know how you take that. Number 2, Chair, Honorable Members, is that I may have been included in the aspect of relatives of the late Honorable Mr. Kasambara. But that is not correct. What is correct, Honorable Member, is that Their approaching me was because I was coordinating between the colleagues and friends of the late senior counsel with the Malawi Defense Force. To an extent, I may be regarded as a relative just because Counsel Mchuka, George Mwale, and myself are related. We are cousins. We are cousins. So that's number one. Number two, our village is in Katabe. My village, between my village and the late senior council's village, we have Council Mchuka Mwale's village in between. So we are basically neighbors. But my involvement in the procurement of the military aircraft was not because I'm a relation or I have been a relation to Mr. Kasambara. My involvement was because it's unfortunate Honorable Konyongo cannot testify, but it's because number one, I was at the funeral home, and number two, I am probably the gentleman who they knew, being a counsel myself, and also being someone who was mentored by the late senior counsel.
So, Chair, I hear you, Prof, and I 100% following you. Can you help us to know who authorized, on behalf of the family, the use of the flight to...
Sorry, and can I supplement to the earlier question so we can exhaust it clear? You did advise, and you've said that it was practically impossible, and you were surprised why that flight was taking place. Were you surprised when you heard that the plane had crashed, or the plane was missing?
First, you said I was surprised, Chair. I did not say that I was surprised.
I want you to confirm. Were you surprised? Were you surprised when you heard that the plane was missing?
You know, so this information was coming piecemeal in the sense that first, the Air Force commander told me that the plane had not landed. But Chair, you should also remember that when I was handing over the money to the air traffic controller, he indicated that the visibility was not good in Mzuzu, was actually bad. And when he told me, of course, there was a sense that probably it was because of the weather. So that may not have come as a surprise because of the weather at that day, or on that day.
So I was asking the question because you had indicated challenges with the time frame. When you heard that there was a VVI flight that was booked, and when you looked at the time frame and your conversations on the flight of late Raf Kasambala, you said it was practically impossible because of the time frame. That's why I'm asking you, were you surprised?
Chair, if you look at my script, I said it was not possible to allow, it could have happened, the VP could have come to Mzuzu, but now that could have disrupted the Kasambara family going back to Blantyre, because Major Kalinga had advised that the expected time of departure should not be later than 2:30 in the afternoon. So obviously, if we slotted in the VP's itinerary in between, that could have pushed that could have actually disrupted the return trip to Blantyre. I hope that answers your question, Honorable Chair.
Yes, you have. Were you disappointed that they ignored your advice?
Who ignored my advice, Honorable Chair?
When you expressed the view that it was impracticable.
Was that an advice, Chair?
Well, it was your view. It could be your view or your advice. It was your view. So were you?
You've answered the question, Chair.
So were you disappointed that your view?
Why should I be disappointed, Chair?
Okay.
I think on the same, on the surprise, Brigadier General, on 3.2, bullet number 2, you said upon my arrival, I guess this is in Zuzu, I did not see aircraft MAF Tango 03. Just to expand on what the chair is saying on the surprise, were you expecting to see the MAF Tango 03 at that time?
Yes, obviously, because look, my late colleague, Keno Sambalopa, had told me that I need to give him the money in Mzuzu. So my expectation was that I'll meet him in Mzuzu. Thanks, Honorable Member.
So, in other words, because we're expecting to see the plane was not there, we are asking, were you surprised?
I don't think surprise is the right word, Chair, but my view is that I could have, if I was surprised, I could have said it in my statement. Keno Sambalopa wrote me a text, as I indicated, I think I've mentioned the time. He flew to Kia, and at that time, actually I saw the text message when I saw that there was no aircraft, so I knew that there was a development.
Deza Kasina, you have the floor. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Chair. Prof, I also want to get your opinion. When you made it clear to Mr. Varela and Carson Chukamari that you not participate in the first session of the flight to be used for the Vice President because your role was strictly helping the Kasambara family. During that conversation, who gave in on behalf of the family of the Kasambara that the flight can be used to ferry the Vice President?
I'm not aware. I'm not aware. Remember, I said in my submission that I had advised then Major Kalinga to liaise with Mr. Baxton Namizinga on the passenger manifest and the departure times. My role was just coordinating to link the family and authorities in the Malawi Defense Force. So I don't know what happened afterwards.
I'm asking that, Chair. I get you, Prof. But as I earlier on said, when Mr. Varela came and testified in this before this committee on 18th June 2026, in his submission, Chair, on page the last page of his submission on bullet number 5, he clearly said General Ishmael of Air Force Commander advised him that the family should have contacted the family members for their approval. And when he was asked before this committee, Chair, it's on the record, which family members, he mentioned you and Carson Chukamari. That's why I'm still insisting to know if you didn't participate, was it maybe Carson Chukamari who gave, because there's no mention of Mr. Namizinga from in the testimony of Mr. Varela. Did you at any point hear or participate or hear Carson Chukamari giving him the permission to use this flight to come back to Lulonga and carry the Vice President?
Negative, Honorable Member.
Chair, maybe we might take note of that as a committee, because as we go on with our all right, fine. Now let's go to the events on the day of flights and loss of contract. Prof, you have on your bridge 3, you approached the control tower. Okay, let's go. I will still take back to the question, which the second question to the chair and the vice chair, where we put forward to you, because I had also written something down here. Upon my arrival, I don't see aircraft MAF T03 However, I observed Vice President's official motor vehicle MG2 together with other official vehicles are not parked at the airport. When you check your mobile, that's when you get a message from Ken Sambalopa sent at 6:49 that he was departing for Kamuzu International Airport. Prior to this, when you're going to Zuzu Airport, the agreement was you're going to find Ken Sambalopa at the airport, or he had earlier on indicated that he was meant to fly to Lilongwe that morning.
Yeah, Honorable Member, you see that the conversation with the late Keno has been exhibited in my statement. When he told me at that time, I think, like I said, it was 06:42 in the morning, when he said that he's leaving for Kia. And the instructions were that I should leave the parcel with Mr. Moyo, the air traffic controller. But before that, we had agreed that we'll meet in Zuzu. So already there was a development that he had to go to Kia.
Yeah, I hear you. My question is the area development. You're going to meet in Zuzu. Did he specifically, you're going to find him at the Zuzu airport or in Zuzu? Because I'm mindful of you are on the submission where you're putting the KD3, the pro forma invoices for Sunbed Zuzu Hotel. Meaning you knew that this close is going to be at the Zuzu Sunbed Hotel. Why did you specifically go straight to Zuzu Airport? My question is, did you had earlier on agreed that you're going to meet at Zuzu Airport?
Negative, but considering that he was flying Mike Alpha Foxtrot Tango 03, and obviously the aircraft would be at the airport, so my gut feeling was that I had to go to the airport.
All right. So you just went there because he was flying the flight, even though you knew that he was supposed to be at Zuzu Sunbed, Zuzu Hotel. All right, fine. Let's go to your bullet number 3. When you get to the airport, air traffic controller, who you inquired to, told you that no, the aircraft is yet to land, possibly due to adverse weather conditions, as visibility at the airport was extremely poor. This observation, can you confirm to me, was this your observation or it was a word from the airport controller?
It was Mr. Moyo, the air traffic controller.
What was your observation of the weather?
I already indicated to council.
So what I want is your village is in Kadabe. I'm meant to believe that you travel a lot to that side. Maybe you can differentiate on a normal day the weather of that day and the other days. Was it adversely bad?
I would testify for that specific day because I wasn't there on the 9th, I wasn't there on the 11th, but that day was particularly bad.
All right. So now the Air Force commander has indicated to you in confidence that the flight has not yet landed in Zuzu. They have activated the search into the neighboring airports and the nearest airports. He has told you to keep that confidential. Correct? He told you to keep it confidential, correct?
Yes, he actually told me it was for my ears only.
But as a prof, as a counsel, you still proceeded to alert several individuals. I mean, this is the confidential.
Not several, but one. And I indicated the reason why I did that. I had to do some thinking, so I had to use discretion.
Bullet number 5, an hour later. I'm interested to know approximately what time was it? An hour later, you contacted to inquire whether the progress on the flight, and I'll go to the last sentence. Based on its fuel endurance, the aircraft ought by then to have been on the ground. That's where I'm interested. What time was this?
Honorable Member, Honorable Chair, because I can't remember exactly, and unfortunately I was going through my phone conversations and that specific item was not indicated. I think because I changed phones and the call log with General Ishmael is not there. Otherwise, I could have also exhibited it in my submission. So because I'm not very sure of the time, that's why I said about an hour later. So if you look at the sequence there, we had about 3 phone calls from 11-ish to maybe around 3-ish.
Okay. Now, I want you to confirm to me on the bread number 6.
Like I said, I'm worried that you will exhaust all the questions of the others.
Yeah, Chair, let me just ask one.
Okay.
I'll come. I said I have a number of them. I might come in later if you indulge as the Chair. But let's just go to bread number 10. Your conclusion. That following the interment of Honorable Kasambala, you departed for Lilongwe. En route, you went to Nzuzu to collect the money, and then off you go to Lilongwe. I want to know, I have 2 questions on this one. What time was this when you are leaving for Lilongwe? And as a senior MDF officer, you are one of your assets in the military is missing, and you never, did you participate in the stage, or you just thought of just coming straight to Lilongwe?
Yeah, that's a good question, Honorable Member. At that time, at the time I was leaving Nkata Bay, Chijere village, I was not aware where the aircraft was. So there was no way I could have started searching. From where, Chair?
No, not searching, but I think you were in contact with the people, and you know, that's why I was asking, what time were you passing through Chikangawa? That time were people already searching, you just chose to proceed, or at that time there was no any activity happening along that area?
I wasn't aware of what was happening at that time, and my last conversation with the Air Force commander was, I can't remember, maybe 3, and then I knew he was busy. I couldn't have been bothering him with phone calls. And unfortunately, I did not even get in touch with my colleagues in the Defense Force to find out what was happening, because it was beyond my paycheck.
Chair, that's all from the Zagasena for now.
You can keep some of the questions if you still have them. Yeah. Who's next? Nkata North.
Chair, thank you for giving people of Nkata North to ask maybe 2 questions. Prof, good morning.
Morning, Honorable Member.
Yeah, I'm also coming from Katabe, Chair, maybe for the interest of it. So, but he's not my voter, but we are neighbor. Yeah, thank you. Prof, I've got 1 question or 2. My question is concerning about Bruet, chapter 7, page 7, not chapter 7, page 7, Bruet 3.3. Why are the funeral in Chijere village in Nkata Bay at approximately 11 hours? Why waiting for the funeral proceeding to commence? I hope you were there until the funeral was finished. Would you please maybe remember the time, starting time for the funeral? Commencement of time, or the funeral, it was at what time? Approximate.
Honorable Member, I wish I remembered, yeah? But I maybe it was around midday, I can't remember exactly. Because, you know, you've received a message about an aircraft missing, and then you tend to lose touch with what is happening on the ground, and I wasn't even looking at the watch at that time.
Okay, another question was the same concerning the time. So if you don't remember, my question was again, by the time I was meeting the Honorable Halum Kandawile, informing him about the missing of the aircraft, would Would you remember again the time?
I wouldn't remember the time. What I remember was that it was at the cemetery.
Okay, Chair. Thank you. My intention was to know the time whereby these activities were starting and the meeting time. Thank you.
Mwanza Central.
Thank you very much, Chair. Prof, on page 8, on your submission, bullet number 7, you reached out to Major Benjamin Snyder at the U.S. Embassy seeking for assistance. You gave him some details and he confirmed that they were sufficient to initiate efforts to locate the aircraft. Did he come back to you with any information after you had spoken to him to say, or did you follow up with him?
Yeah, no, thank you so much, Honorable Member. Unfortunately, he did not come back to me after I had sent him the request.
You sent him a request. He did not come back to you, knowing how important this agency or how advanced they are. Did you at some point remembered to check with him to say, have you found anything?
Honorable Member, you may recall on that day, when I asked Major Snyder informally, when I asked him for assistance, we had to put all hands on deck, time of the essence at that time. And when it became public that the aircraft was missing, even by the time I was asking Major Snyder, I had received 1 or 2 text messages from colleagues and others asking whether the information they got was true. So we were in a state of chaos, and now later the government had taken over, I mean, the military had taken over also. The government had indicated that I think there was we know the developments that happened, that they had located a signal somewhere in Chikangawa, and then it was a whole of society approach search.
Chair, you spoke to the Air Force commander who allowed you to use to communicate or get assistance from other stakeholders. Did you probably revert to those agencies and get an update at any point? And if at all you did, on the 10th, what were the updates?
Remember, Chair, you already posed that question to me. I said I only contacted one person, and one person was Major Snyder, and I think I've addressed that question, Honorable Member.
Chair, for now, let me stop there. I'll come back.
Zomba City South.
Thank you so much, Chair. Brigadier General, I have 1 or 2 questions. I understand you went to Nkatabe to bury your friend, and also someone who was coming from your area in Nkatabe. But this was a military funeral, so I know that there are a lot of army officials there. Would you maybe alert us in terms of who was the highest ranking officer at that funeral?
Chair, unfortunately, I can't remember. But what I remember is that I saw a police officer, now IG, Mr. Richard Luhanga was there. I know there was a military officer, but I can't remember exactly who it was. I can't remember exactly who it was.
You follow chain of command in the military. So when you are there, you could actually see who was above you or who was below you. Is that correct?
Precisely, precisely.
So my question was, who was above you at that funeral in the military?
I can't remember having saluted anyone from the military at that time, meaning I must have been the most senior on the ground. But I went in my personal capacity.
Thank you so much, Brigadier General. Now, having been informed that the aircraft carrying the second citizen was missing, and you have got your men in the north, did you, as a most senior person at that time in the north, did you maybe make any instructions? Because you guys follow a chain of command. I'm sure nobody below you at that time could start issuing instructions. Did you make any orders, having spoken to the commander?
Chair, honorable members, it is not correct that I was the most senior at that time in the north. With regards to chain of command, the most senior at that time was my friend and my colleague, Brigadier General Richard Chagonapanja. He was the commander of 101 Brigade. So he was the one who was at the helm of chain of command in that regard. And when I realized that, when I heard that the aircraft, a signal was located in Chikangawa, I got in touch with General Chagonapanja to find out on the progress of the search. That was later.
So you are saying that General Chagonapanja was not at the funeral, but he was in the north. Is that correct?
You asked me, okay, so at that time, General Chagonapanja, I was senior to General Chagonapanja at that time. Does that answer your question, Chair?
You are confusing me.
At the funeral, I said negative. Now, you put it to me that I was the most senior in the northern region, and I said negative. In terms of chain of command, I was not in the chain of command. In terms of chain of command, the one who was leading the troops was General Chagonapanja, Brigadier General Chagonapanja. So he was the one who had control, command and control of the troops, and not me. So we are talking about different things there.
Thank you very much. I'll still ask, because you are the most senior in the north.
Negative. Not in the north. The most senior officer in the north at that time was Brigadier General Chagonapanja. He was the one who was giving orders. If I gave an order to a soldier, because I was out of the chain of command, I couldn't actually give an order unless it is probably on something else.
No, I hear you, Brigadier General. So I'll move on. I asked earlier about page number 7, bullet number 3.2. I think we discussed that already when I was asking that you did not see the aircraft. But I want to continue from there. I see that your submission is devoid of time. I don't know why, but can I ask you, what was the time you arrived at the airport?
It is not correct to say that my submission, Chair, is devoid of time. I've actually attached exhibits with timelines. So I think we should depart on that understanding, Chair. In terms of my arrival at Mzuzu Airport, I can't remember exactly, but probably it was around just after 8 o'clock, I think.
Just after 8 o'clock. We discussed this, Brigadier General, already. You said, I did not see the aircraft. And then I asked the area, were you surprised? And you remember what you responded. And when you went to the air traffic controller, he also gave you time that maybe the flight was supposed to arrive there. And he told you that he suspected that because of the bad weather, that's why it had not landed at that time. So are you sure you arrived at around 8 o'clock?
All right, no, I think you're right. Good thing is that I've mentioned that I was in company of Mr. Serafin Konje, who was, I think, late all the time. He should know the time that we arrived in Mzuzu. And I was also with now Staff Sergeant Banda, who was driving. I'm sure he should know the time we got to Mzuzu. And I'm sure Mr. Moyo, he should know the time he received the money. You know, you don't expect something happening, you don't look at the clock all the time. And I told you that I had just woken up because I had a deep slumber, so I wasn't paying attention to the time. But it's unfortunate that, again, my colleague with Keno Sambalopa cannot be retrieved. I could have been able to figure out the time from there.
Brigadier General, that tells me that maybe in this presentation we shouldn't pay much attention to the times, because you are sleeping, you woke up later, and 8 o'clock, you're confusing with 10 o'clock. Maybe the times we should not pay much attention, as you have said, isn't it?
It's up to you. I told you that if you have to look at the specific times, I have conversations in there which I have attached.
Thank you very much. Moving on, Brigadier General. In Blantyre, I think when you made your view that it was practically impossible for that arrangement to be made for the craft also to carry the second citizen, you did say that you distanced yourself to say, no, I'm not taking part in that. I think I heard you correctly. Can you confirm?
I can confirm that it was in Lilongwe, not Blantyre.
Yeah, of course. Thank you so much.
But what was the question? I wanted to
clarify. I'm coming there now.
Okay.
Give me some time. So you distanced yourself from participating in the second procurement of this flight. So I noticed that after Mr. Moyo told you that the plane had not arrived, maybe due to bad weather, I noticed that you did not do anything until when you got a call at 11 o'clock after you had arrived at Jijere village. Were you also distancing yourself from finding out what was happening to this flight, where it was?
Chair, honorable members, remember my role. I was not in charge of flying the aircraft. I was not in charge of commanding the aircraft. My role, like I've indicated, was just to facilitate between the Kasambara family and the Malawi Defense Force. So whatever was happening to the aircraft was to a great extent beyond my control. I went to Nkadabe for the funeral and not to be looking at the aircraft.
No, I think that's fine. So meaning that whatever has happened to this flight was secondary. I think you went there for a funeral. Although you started contacting Major Benjamin Snyder at a certain point, but that was secondary. I take that. Finally, Chair.
No. On the same point. on the same point. Brigadier General, was the former Vice President, late, your good friend?
Zachitika kuti? Zachitika nthawi zanji? Kodi nanga amene wapanga ndani? Musakhale nawo gulu lovutika ndi mphekesera ayi. Tapangani subscribe ku Malawi Daily Headlines lero kuti zochitika mdziko mwanu momwe zisamakuponyeni.